the floodlights build, the fans align. In red and white they always shine. With every pass it feels divine. Arsenal's on my mind.
All right, everybody, welcome to episode number 2 of the Arsenal on My Mind podcast. I am Spike, and as always, I'm here with Sekijay.
Number 2, let's go.
Let's go, absolutely. Well, thank you guys, for all the views and subscribers that we've had
And comments.
We're really enjoying doing this podcast, and we're happy that people are also enjoying watching it. So, we're going to get right into it today and kind of talk about the team that's always on our mind. What's on your mind today, Seki?
Arsenal. The London Derby is on my mind.
Okay, absolutely, as it should.
All the injuries are on my mind.
Injuries, man.
So much injuries, it's like we're unlucky so far.
I always say with Arsenal that we're always either unlucky with injuries or we don't have enough depth. And this time around, I think we've got both. I don't think we have enough depth. I think we've been very unlucky with the injuries. I mean, we talked about it on the last pod about Odegaard, how important he was and who would replace him. We were talking about it from the standpoint of if he needs a rest, right? Who would play? Because we sent Vieira on loan and we sold Smith Rowe. And all of a sudden, boom.
Bam.
We're here talking about it, about how bad, how we have to play the North Derby and possibly the Man City game without him. Because it was a 3-week injury approximately. So we might be without him for this tough.
He's gonna miss about 6 games.
Wow, I mean
that's a lot.
And the three we have coming are the most important ones. As you said last time, Spurs, Atlanta, Man City. The 3 after are actually pretty easy games, and games that I think that if he was healthy, we would probably rotate a little bit.
There are no easy games in the Premier League.
Easier games, easier games, the way I'll put it. But right now we're looking really short. With Rice's suspension, that's even more. I mean, had Rice not been suspended, we would feel a little better about because at least we know we'll be tight and we'll be compact.
Correct.
And we can literally start a triple stack of Rice, Partey, and Jorginho if we wanted to, because it's a away game. But now we're talking about, I don't even know who can replace Odegaard. Literally, I don't think it's replaceable on the team the way it is.
Well, Odegaard is so important, to the way Arsenal plays. Given the small fact that he's the captain of the team.
Small fact.
He's the soul of the team. He's the galvanizer of the team. He's arguably one of the hardest workers.
He triggers Arsenal's press
exactly
every time.
So you can't replace that kind of player,
right?
What you can do is have viable backups. And the last episode, I dropped a name, but now there's reality.
In the face of reality, you're rethinking
reality. You'll find out who my who my replacement for him is going to be.
Right.
When we get to that segment.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I mean, we talked about it, and it's real now. And if it was any other team, we could maybe say if we're playing City, for instance, first, we could say, hey, let's just go for a draw, right? But we're playing Spursy people, the Spursies, so we want to win. We can't just go out there and stall out for a draw.
Correct.
And Odegaard keeps the team ticking.
Correct.
I remember the only other player we've had in my memory recently that kept the team ticking was Cazorla. Santi, because he would just keep the team rolling. And Odegaard does that and is arguably, more a better passer maybe than Cazorla maybe, but the bottom line is we just don't have. At least if we had Smith Rowe, this would be a game to blood him in that he's an Arsenal guy, soul. His soul is Arsenal, playing in a derby. This would be a game for him to really seize upon.
Correct.
Vieira, if he was around, we would say, okay, this is the game to give him a chance to show what he can do.
Yes.
Maybe.
So let's talk about what we have.
Okay, so let's wrap up what we don't have. We don't have Odegaard.
No.
Right? And we don't have
Smith Rowe or Vieira.
Okay, and we don't have Marino.
No, we don't.
Okay, and we don't have Calafiori.
No, we don't.
Right now, the way I look at it, and this is going to lead into us talking a bit more about our who we think will step in and play. But just in general, if we had, I mean, this is like a domino effect. If we had Marino, we play. We play everybody together.
Correct.
If we without Marino now, all of a sudden, the only way we can play is if we play Zinchenko or somebody else in midfield, which would have given Calafiori a chance to play on the left, but he's not there either. So it's like we're kind of stuck in the mud, and it's really a tough time for us to have gone through this right now.
Well, I think my take is a time for Arteta to earn that new contract that he just signed.
Absolutely. Because if he comes out of this session of 3 games, or let's say the 2 games in the Prem, comes out with the 4 points that we talked about, I mean, deserves a lot of praise for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. If somehow in the middle of that we beat Atlanta, I mean, that would be amazing.
Atalanta.
Whatever, I know it's Italian, not American.
It's not American. It's not Georgia.
It's not Georgia. Right. So, I mean, so a lot of injuries at Arsenal. And we even mentioned the guys who were already injured, Gabriel Jesus coming back from injury. Obviously, Tierney back in training. Tommy was out injured.
Tierney had a setback again.
Oh, God.
He's out.
So
there's no chance of him.
I didn't think he'll be in the squad either way, but I'm just saying there's a lot of, we're like 6-7 players out injured.
Calafiori, his calf. The calf
injury, yep. Or shin injury, I saw. But either way, the leg. Yeah, the leg is messed up.
Odegaard, ankle, Marino, shoulder.
Yep.
Jesus, knee. Tommy, knee. No, Jesus, groin.
Always.
Yeah. Then Tommy, knee. Anyway, I don't even know what's
hamstring.
Hamstring?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Doing international duty.
So, I mean, we still have a good squad.
We do, but it's just that attacking midfield position is the weakest. We talked about it. It was the weakest spot when we did our squad depth analysis last pod. We only had 1 player to place in there until we came with our interesting, rigorous width. But before we go on to who we think will start in the upcoming game, what are your thoughts of this international break coming 3 weeks into a season starting?
It's ridiculous, and what even makes it more ridiculous is the fact that we're just coming off the Olympics and Euro and African Cup of Nations. So we're coming off a summer of internationals.
Yep.
Fully packed. These players had barely 2 weeks to rest.
Yeah.
I mean, the ones that made it deep in this tournament.
Absolutely.
Then 3 games into the league, into the new season, a 2-week break
to play international.
Then now you have players falling like flies. Yeah, because of course you expect that.
Yeah, and my issue is I think because of the fact that it's 3 weeks in, right? And then you have this is that players are at a different level of fitness with their clubs than when they go to the international teams. They almost start over with their fitness for those spots. And that can cause potentially some issues in how your body responds to it. I mean, we weren't the only ones that had injuries. I think Elliott on Liverpool got injured. Somebody else, I don't remember, got injured on international duty as well. So it's not just Arsenal. So I don't feel bad for Arsenal alone. Yeah. I just feel bad that it was, arguably our most important player.
I feel bad for Arsenal because we had more than one.
Well, I was going to say, our most important player, our most exciting signing is Calafiori, ultimately. I mean, it would have been Marino. We haven't seen him play.
Yeah.
Calafiori, the little snippets that we've seen have been amazing.
Beast.
And, so that leads us to, kind of talk about, okay, so what is your prediction for how we line up for the weekend?
Well, before we talk about that, I just want to say this to all the governing bodies of football, of soccer. I understand it's a business. I get it. You're trying to, maximize revenue and all that. But I believe strongly that these organizations should also be player-centric.
Absolutely.
Because the players are the assets you have.
Right.
And when these players get injured, it takes away from your revenue. So I think I think FIFA, UEFA, CAF, you guys need to sit down and come to a proper balance. Having obviously the commercial side of it, but most importantly, player centric.
Yeah.
And that leads me to who is going to play this weekend.
Yeah. All right. What you got?
All right. Well, let's start from the back. It's pretty straightforward in the back. Keeper is Raya.
Really? Right. Not Neto? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, Raya. Neto is backup. Right back, Ben White. Right center back, Sali Baba. Gabriel, left center back. Timber, left back.
Okay.
Midfield, Jorginho, anchor. Partey, and drum roll, Waneri. And I will come back to that.
Okay, all right.
Saka, Starboy, on his normal position. Nobody's going to take that from him. Left wing, Martinelli.
Interesting choice.
I'm giving you a chance, boy. You need to step up. Your clock is ticking.
Okay.
And up front, 65 million down the drain. Havertz scores a game. Let's go. Kai Havertz.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
You've gone for Waneri there. Okay, so why do you think he's ready for this particular game?
I think it would be hypocritical of us to, at one hand, say give the youngsters a chance. Give the youngsters a chance, right? Then when the opportunity comes, we don't have the confidence or the balls to give the youngster a chance. So I think we should give him a chance.
Okay.
I mean, we gave Bukayo Saka the chance, and look at what he is today.
Right, but I don't even recall what his debut game was. But was it a North London derby?
Who?
For Saka?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, I think it might have been against Southampton. I don't remember that.
I don't remember, but we gave him a chance.
Give him a chance. So I have no issue giving Waneri a chance, right?
Give Waneri a chance.
So here's what I think.
But give him good. You see, he has true experienced players with him in that midfield. Partey and Jorginho.
Right.
I think this is perfect for him.
Okay. I agree that I think he should play in this game. I don't think he should start. Okay. Now, here's the thing. If he starts, I think he doesn't do anything wrong. I think he's a good enough player where he won't lose us the game.
Okay.
He wouldn't mess up or have a typical youngster kind of situation. He seems pretty mature with what he plays. I'm not worried that he will cost us the game.
Okay.
Right? I'm worried that he may not be able to influence the game enough. That's my only worry about him. Okay. But other than that, I think I would love for him to get the start. I mean, it would show a lot of confidence. I think if you remember in our private discussions, my biggest gripe about Arteta's reign in the past, 3.5, 4 years now, is that he hasn't given all of our youngsters chances.
Correct.
I mean, every year we sell who we thought was our greatest youngster.
Correct.
I was crushed when we sold Charlie Patino. Because I thought he was the next greatest thing. Correct. And he hasn't really given that many youngsters a chance. He did preseason this year. So everyone thought, okay, this is a chance. He's included Waneri and Skelly in the squad. And, so they will get some chances because talking about fixture congestion, the Champions League new format is more games, right? So I think ultimately, yes, Waneri should get a chance in this game. But I think Mikel is also, because of his history of not blooding youngsters the way that I think he's going to go more conservative.
So what's your prediction?
Of course, so my squad prediction, I think, of course, the back line and the goalies are the same, right? Same back four, same goalie. I think in midfield, you have to go with Partey and Jorginho. And we'll get to this, but I think Jorginho has a chance to be the man of the match in that game, in my opinion. I think Jorginho of 3-4 years ago, before he joined Arsenal, maybe even before he joined Chelsea, right? He can do that Odegaard role in reality, because you don't really need him to defend for you when you have Partey, right? So he can technically do it now. He's older now, maybe doesn't have the legs to press like Odegaard can. But I think if he has a good game, we win. Okay? And I think Mikel is going to revert back to his, I won't say tried and trusted, I would say tried and mediocre success of pulling Havertz back into midfield.
I don't want that.
I don't like it, but I do see how his size and his frame
and his pressing ability.
and can really destabilize Tottenham's midfield.
Mm-hmm.
If he actually has a good game and puts his body around, I think Mikel ends up pulling Havertz into midfield. And I think if it depends really on whether or not, to me, Jesus is fit.
Okay.
Right? If he's fit, he comes in to play striker. Havertz drops to midfield. If Jesus is not fit, I see us giving Sterling a start in the center. I'm not a fan of that, but we've discussed, I think it's probably the next best option. But here's my interesting part. You picked the same thing too. You picked Martinelli in this game to start, Martinelli.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't really say why, but I want to tell you why I picked him as well. From me as well.
Okay.
I think because we play Havertz in midfield, we have to have a winger that can track back.
Okay.
And I don't think Trossard tracks back as much as Martinelli does.
Okay.
Just my opinion.
Okay.
You know, the pace, the energy to do so. You know, Trossard, if we had Odegaard, we're going on the offensive, I think he starts.
Okay.
Because we're going to try to crush Tottenham, right? Mm-hmm. But I think because of his injuries, a bit more conservative in a sense. I mean, Martinelli is an attacking player, so it's not really conservative. Mm-hmm. But I think he has the energy, the pace to really come back and help that midfield, because Havertz is not going to want to play in midfield, even though is where I think Mikel would play him.
Yeah.
So my difference from yours is I don't have Waneri starting. I see him coming in at some point. If Jesus starts, I don't see him playing the full 90. Mm-hmm. So I think at some point Jesus comes off for either Sterling or Waneri, and Havertz goes back to strike, mm-hmm. and Waneri can go in the midfield. It's the way I see the game progressing. But Martinelli is lucky to start this game.
Oh yeah.
You know, if he does start. Because Trossard has, I think, there's only 3 games, mm-hmm. but has obviously proven that he's a better winger at the moment than Martinelli.
Correct.
You know, but I think
he's in better form.
You know, so I think ultimately
he's a smarter player. He's a better finisher.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. He's a better winger right now.
He's a better winger right now. I mean, Martinelli still has the pace.
Yeah.
But Martinelli is playing like Walcott before he got his contract. Before he's got that one contract, you know, or after, if you will. So. Not vastly different starting, but a big difference in how I think we look at that midfield.
Martinelli is playing like he has bad brain. I would just say it as it is.
Just running with no direction.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
And I mean, I won't be surprised if I see Sterling start.
That would be interesting, and I think Sterling starting is more likely than Waneri starting.
I'm saying Sterling starts for Martinelli.
Oh, well, okay.
I'm surprised.
Either way, I don't think Sterling is going to track back either. So.
But you see, that brings me back to my earlier point. You know, mm-hmm. if you're trying to build these young stars, right, mm-hmm. and build their confidence and tell them you have faith in them, why would you want to start a guy that just comes in on loan? However, he's a quality player.
I wouldn't start him.
Champion,
right? Yeah. I'm saying there's a higher chance of starting.
I don't think that would be good management.
Well, they both don't play the same position.
Well, that's true.
Right. So I don't think it'll be a slap in Waneri's face at all. I don't think so. I just think that if you look at both of them, I think Mikel is probably thinking, who would I rather start in this game between Waneri and Sterling in different spots, obviously. Okay. And he goes, well, I go with the experience. Okay. Which, you know, so I think Sterling is closer to starting this game than Waneri is. But you know what? I could prove it wrong very easily, you know, and you could be right. And maybe Mikel loves Waneri.
We'll see. You know, we'll see. I mean, it's in a few days. Mm-hmm. I just think I don't care who starts. We need to go to Tottenham. Mm-hmm. And beat them. So you are predicting a win for us? Absolutely.
Okay. What are you thinking?
2-1.
2-1. All right. So
Sterling comes on and scores the winning goal.
Interesting. Well, before I get to my prediction, I want to talk about Spurs a little bit, right? Do you think that Spurs are a better team under their new coach, Angie, or were they better before under Poch?
Honestly,
mm-hmm. I mean, I guess it's unfair because they had Kane then.
Well,
right?
Honestly, I don't care who the coach is of Spurs. They're shit.
What do you think of shit?
I mean, I don't care what they do. Mm-hmm. I don't care. But I'll answer your question. Actually, I think they've actually impressed me since Kane left.
Yeah, because they play a more reckless game now, which is more fun to watch.
It's fun to watch, you know.
And if you're not ready for it, they beat you up.
They'll beat you up, you know. And I hope they come with that same, you know, strategy, because our defense is a monster. You know, so we're not going to be worried about Spurs running our defense ragged. No, that's not going to happen. You know, and they are going to come attacking, and we have some weapons that can hurt them.
Right. So if you go back to,
and they'll play their high press too.
They will, and because they're home, they have to. But remember when we played them last year, and 3-1, right? And our 3 goals came just against the run of play. That game was pretty even until we just scored 3 goals out of nowhere.
Yeah,
you know. So I expect a tough game. I do, and I just think, to me, yes, of course I'm an Arsenal fan. I want to destroy Spurs, but if we get a draw with Spurs, right, and beat Man City, I'm even happier. So I would trade that.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying I would trade it, right? Even though they're our rivals, you know, everyone knows.
Let's take the one we can beat first.
Hey, we beat Man City last year too.
Hey, let's when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it.
Okay, so my prediction.
We'll talk about that next week.
All that being said, I still predict we win.
Yeah.
Right?
What's the score?
I predict we win 2-0. Right?
You think Spurs?
I don't think they score.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that almost is because I think we're going to score first. Is my opinion. I think we score first, and if we score first, then they play right into our hands.
Martinelli, Martinelli, remember that stuff you did 2 seasons ago? You were always doing in big games, where you just come out beginning of the game from the get go and you just boom,
terrorize the
fullbacks, and just start fast and bam before they know you scored.
Yeah,
Martinelli, that's what you should do again.
Yeah, because I think our problem for us is if we have to chase this game. I don't think we have the firepower at the moment. And there's only one player missing in Odegaard, but I don't think we got the firepower to chase the game.
Well, I call him Odegaard.
Odegaard, there
you know,
go.
Because he's more than one player. You know? But I think we do actually. We have the firepower. We have. Look, I'm still very excited about Raheem Sterling.
But he's not going to feed himself.
Huh?
He's not going to feed himself a goal.
Well, but he can. If you know Raheem Sterling, remember. Raheem Sterling didn't need feeding. He used to work. He used to work it out. Well, that's true.
You know, and he might get back to that.
But the Arsenal system might be able to, you know,
unlock a. I mean, Bukayo obviously has to get an assist or 2 in this game. That's how he performs now, as he should. You know, Odegaard hasn't had an assist this season yet, has he? Right. So it's not even just about his assists.
No,
it's just about he keeps the team ticking. Yeah. He initiates the press.
He's the leader.
He's the leader of the team. So you know what? I have no idea who our vice captain is on the squad. Do you even know?
Yeah.
Who?
Jesus.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't even know that. But so if he starts, he gets the captain's armband, right? I guess supposedly. I mean, I would argue
I think the captain group of captains, Odegaard, Jesus, Partey.
Oh, see, Partey to me can be a captain. Yeah, I think he has Partey, you know I love Partey. I've always loved him, you know, and I'm happy we didn't sell him because I thought that would have been brutal.
Yeah, that would have been a big mistake.
But I mean, Partey, I think, has the presence to be a captain, but I don't see him talking much.
No.
I don't see Gabriel. I don't see Jesus talking much either.
No,
you know, and
we don't have
loud captains.
No, we don't
need that. I guess in this squad. But I predict 2-0. I predict 2-0 only if we score first. I know that's kind of a cop out, but I'm just saying, you know.
And you know, both their strikers are injured. Out.
Who?
Tottenham.
Who?
Solanke and
Richarlison
are not going to be there.
So who did they? I guess they have Werner. I'm so worried about him.
Yeah. Saliba is going to eat you up, boy.
I'm always worried about Son. Always.
Yes.
I mean.
Yes.
To me, this is an Arsenal podcast, but I have to just talk about it. Is it weird that nobody has tried to buy Son? Like the big teams. You know, the typical, you know, PSGs, Barcelona, Real Madrid, you know.
Why should they try and buy him? I mean,
he's a world-class player.
But he plays for a shit team.
So did Kane, and they took him.
Well, Kane,
Modric, they all came from Spurs.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know why nobody has tried to buy him.
To me, I think he's ripe for the picking. But anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's their problem.
That's their problem to deal with. But I think it will be a
just
a
score on Sunday. Yeah, son.
Yeah, and like I said, if we score first, then they'll play the game on our terms because the part that we're not weaker in is defense.
Mm-hmm.
So we can defend well, as always.
Yeah.
If we have to chase the game, I'm more worried because we don't have a game changer besides maybe Sterling on the bench.
Now, let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Those two games, Spurs away, City away, no Odegaard, no Calafiori and Merino and all that. How many points are we going to come out of in those two games and still remain in the title? At least still be in the conversation.
As a title contender that we are, 4 points is minimum you expect out of it, right?
Okay, actually, let me rephrase that question.
Okay.
What would the scores or what would the outcome of those two games be that you say our season is over?
So this is going to be a little bit controversial. If we let's say, God forbid it, we lose both games, I don't think we're out of the title challenge. I don't think so because it's so early. If you're going to screw up, quote unquote, do it early, right? So I don't think that 2 losses knock us out completely of the title challenge. I will say this though. The manner of those losses will be very important.
Okay.
If we lose to Spurs 2-1 on a garbage penalty that they got, right? Then go to City and lose 3-2, right? I feel okay about it. Okay. Because obviously we're weakened through our own fault. We have no backup for Odegaard and whatnot, right? And Rice is out of there. So, but if we go there and we get smashed in both games, then I think it takes us longer to bounce back from that, which then will put the league out of reach from us. But if we go there and we battle, Spurs, I would hate to lose to them, so I wouldn't even want to think about that. But if we, for some reason, lose to Spurs and then lose to City respectably with a hampered squad per se, I think the players feel, oh yeah, we could do this when everybody's fit, when we're good, and we're going to have a fitter end of the year, technically speaking. This could still happen. But I just think the manner of the loss matters, right? Like, much like the last game against Brighton.
You see this guy, he's eternally
optimistic. Absolutely.
I mean, there's no such thing as respectable loss. If you lose,
no. There's many respectable losses.
Yes, but when you're trying to go against a monstrous team like Manchester City, if you are 5 games in and you 2 losses in those 2 games, that would put us at
6-7 points behind.
No, 8 points behind because we're already 2 points behind.
True.
So the 8 points behind, 5 games in, season is over. Now, 2 draws. 2
draws is still respectable.
Is okay,
considering
because 2 draws will put us 5 points behind City. You see it?
Right.
A draw and a loss will put us
3 points behind.
5 points behind.
Well, I guess it depends on where the draw comes or where the win comes.
Exactly.
This is why I said I'd rather us draw with Spurs and beat City than beat Spurs and draw with City. I'd rather beat City because I think football to me it's a mentality game.
I don't think we'll be able to. It will be interesting to gauge the mentality of City if they let us beat them twice, 2 seasons back to back.
It's not about let us.
They're not going to let us. It's not going to happen. And Rodri is back.
I don't care.
I know. But what I'm saying...
Did he not play when we beat them 1-0?
Yeah.
He was there, Rodri?
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't? Okay.
No.
All right.
No way. He
wasn't. Well, so here's the thing, right? The reason why I think... So here's my thing. Okay, you just said if we lose both games...
If we lose both games,
it's done.
Right? 2 draws is fine.
Right.
A win and a draw is fine. 4 points is fine.
Of course.
So but 2 losses is over.
I would tell you this, right?
Because Liverpool too is balling.
Of course they're balling, right? But my thing is, we hit on this, and I know how you feel about City's depth, right? They could be 5-8 points ahead of us. If Haaland gets injured, which, let's be real, he's never played a full season with City without getting injured. So it's not like he's not going to have a long-term injury.
Watch him
do it now. My point, I think just as easily as Odegaard got hurt in that international game, Haaland, it's the same game, could have gotten hurt in that same game, right?
And Odegaard was the better player in the
right. So if City lose Haaland for any amount of time,
break,
any amount of time, right, and happens to coincide with games against Liverpool, games against, dare I say, they always play a hard game with the Spurs as well, right? With a game against even their rivals, Man U, right? You look at that and you say, City may not be able to navigate that the way you think, because I don't care about this false nine thing and all that. All this past 2 seasons that we've run them close, they've had Alvarez to lean on.
Yeah.
You know, this is really feel like having to lean on somebody else, be it the new kid Savio or whatever, but they're all wingers, right? I mean, the thing is, you said it in the last podcast. City, or maybe you said it to me in private, I don't remember. City have been winning the league with false nine, and then they look and say, we don't want that no more. And they went and bought Haaland. So it wasn't a fluke. They did that because they saw it's not sustainable to win with false nine. Yeah, at least not in the league today.
Well, it takes more. A lot more.
A whole lot more.
So they went and bought a goal machine.
Exactly. You know, so without that goal machine, you have to look and say they're a little vulnerable. I'm not saying they're going to be 6th place without Haaland. I'm just saying without Haaland against a Liverpool team, against an Arsenal team, right? I think they drop a lot more points to draws even than wins.
Well,
I mean, literally, he scored what 90% of all the goals this season so far. Nobody else even scored a goal.
Yeah, but maybe because that's the
game plan.
Yeah,
no, he's just rested. You know,
that's what I'm saying. They're resting the rest.
No, he's well rested.
Yeah, they're resting the rest now, having him do all the work.
No.
But I'm a realist. Okay, you see. So I like to speak on what is in front of me.
Okay,
you know, Haaland is cooking.
Yep,
right now, and City is looking scary.
Well, like I said, they haven't.
Yeah, because last season they were not great, and
until later,
and they still won the league.
They ended the season in a 12-game winning streak.
This is Pep. Pep is not going to not look great 2 seasons back to back.
They didn't look bad last season. They just took them a while to get started.
They were not great.
So they were great in the last 12.
Yeah,
they won every game.
But they were not great last season
in the beginning.
Yes, you know, but now they've started great.
Yes,
you see, we in the past 2 seasons have almost been perfect
to start.
And even the entire season, apart from those mistakes, drop points here and there.
Yep.
And we still did not win.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is and I stick to my position, it's harder this season for Arsenal to win the league compared to last season. You know, and you know, this is Pep Guardiola. This is the best coach in the world.
Yeah.
He has the best striker in the world. He has the best team, first and second team. You know, and he can buy anybody he wants to buy. If it feels like in January, if they see they need cover for Haaland, they'll go out there and buy the person in January.
Sure,
those guys are crazy. You know, so what I'm saying for Arsenal is we have to almost win these next 2 games to even stand a chance. And I'm telling you, because the signs are not nice for us. The signs are not good. You know, look at Rice. So red card. Man City, they've gotten red cards and they still win their games.
What, this season?
Just historically.
In general. So have we. We're able to.
When was the last time we did it?
I don't know. Maybe last season sometime. I can't think of a game, but I know we're capable of doing it.
It's one thing to be holding the lead, right? And get a red card and try and just ride out that lead.
Right.
It's another thing when you are trying to get a lead.
I get it.
And you get a red card. Or actually, we were holding the lead and we got a red card conceded. And we couldn't come back.
Yep.
You know, and we had the chances.
Sure.
Now, with Kai Havertz, does he have that killer instinct?
Right.
No, he doesn't.
Not like a Haaland, sure.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, and you're trying to take the championship from a team that has that killer instinct.
I think what last season proved with Man City is that us beating them is not how we win the league.
No, it's not.
So that's my point.
No, they can give us the game and still win the league. They can lose to us.
So my point is almost
they lost to us home and away last season and still won the league.
Well, we drew. I think we drew One. And we beat them twice, but it wasn't.
Oh yeah,
FA
we
League Cup
drew
or
in their
something.
home and beat them in our home.
Yeah. So my thing is,
okay. So now we need to go beat them in their home.
yeah. And
and Rodri was poking at us right after they won the championship. That's when he saw Arsenal the way we were playing against them at home, he was like, oh, these guys are not ready to win the league because we were playing to draw, we're not playing to win.
Yeah.
Hey guys, that's a challenge.
Yeah. I mean, I just think if we lose to City, we're still. I mean, City is not going to be judged about dropping points to Arsenal, right? City's going to be judged on that random game against Wolves, where it's 3-3.
Yeah.
You know, and then we're looking at that random game against Man U, where Man U remembers that they're the original Manchester team and beats them 1-0. You know, so those are the points that I expect you to drop. Okay. We can beat them home and away and still not win the league.
That means we basically have to win almost every other game.
Every other game outside of the games we play them.
Which in the Premier League, I mean, if Arteta does that, he's going to get half of his salary.
Get a statue?
No, I would donate half of my salary for the next year. But at the end of the day, that's what is always on our mind.
Yep. Arsenal all the time. So we enjoy doing this podcast so far. We're going to keep doing it and kind of keep pumping out episodes weekly. Sometimes we can squeeze 2 a week. We might be able to, but we're going to try to record one right after the game, after the North London Derby. And in future episodes, we can work in live watch-alongs for big games like that. But I think we will try to pump one out right after the game, kind of address how that game. Hopefully, it'll be a win for the Gunners and a really good win, and hopefully Waneri and Sterling score hat tricks. It's all great, right? But ultimately speaking, we appreciate all your support. We love that you're watching us. We love making this, and we look forward to making more content like this. And please, if it's your first time watching, like, subscribe,
share the
video with Arsenal fans or non-Arsenal fans. But either way, we appreciate it. We love doing this, and
keep
as always,
coming in.
Yes, as always, keep Arsenal on your mind. Thank you.
Under floodlights blue, the fans align. In red and white they always shine. With every pass it feels divine. Arsenal's on my mind.